On January 11th, 2025, Officer Jennifer Stevenson of the Homestead Police Department in Florida was involved in a vehicle-pedestrian accident at the intersection of Northwest 6th Avenue and Northwest 15th Street in Miami-Dade County, involving an elderly citizen named Mariana Telles. Shortly after the incident, Sergeant Gilpin arrived on the scene, followed by Officer Perez of the Homestead PD's Traffic Investigations Unit. The interaction that followed was captured on the officer's body-worn cameras.
First and foremost, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm pissed.
Okay.
I'm pissed because I'm so fucking careful. This pisses me the fuck off.
But other than that, but you're okay, right?
I'm pissed. Because if you watch the cycle of the light, when I'm going, I'm getting ready to make a left turn. There's no traffic coming. I proceed to turn, and she's in the crosswalk.
I assume you're in the...
I'm going to make a left. Yeah. As I'm getting ready to make a left. But if you look at when the lights turn, I had a steady green.
Check on your
front left.
And this other car? Family?
They just showed up. That's them. I told them to sit in their car.
Okay. One second. Hello. She only speaks Spanish. She only speaks Spanish? Just let her know we have Miami-Dade Fire Rescue coming over here to check her out. Could you ask her if she's okay for me?
She said she's fine. She's fine. I just asked her. But she has diabetes, so it's better to get it checked. Yeah, she has diabetes and all that.
Of course.
But yeah, she's okay. She can walk. Okay. But she just wants to get that. We just want her to get checked. If it does get infected, she has diabetes and it can cause anything.
Of course. I have her info. You have her info? Okay. And you guys are family?
Yes, she's my grandma.
Okay. Again, we're going to have fire rescue come out. We're going to have another person come out, document it, and everything like that.
And what happens in this case?
We're gonna have somebody come talk to you, and you're gonna give you the case number and everything like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Just have her keep her away from them.
What? The family?
Keep them away. Best thing to do. Because if you have them speaking to her and they influence her, then that's a problem.
I get what you're saying, but she's also we have a language barrier. We have that issue.
I understand.
Hey, Cap. Hey, I just wanted to notify you of an on-duty 17 involving a marked police vehicle. I'm still 5'5", pedestrian or stuff. I'm gonna have Q grab all the information. You already got fire? You wanna hang on your car?
Señora, déjeme hablarle para ver lo que pasó, por favor.
You have to scream at her.
Oh.
She can't talk because she can't really hear.
I'll scream in a polite manner. Señora, ¿qué fue lo que pasó aquí en el accidente?
La luz estaba en verde.
¿Estaba yendo para allá o para acá? ¿Tú estabas yendo para allá?
Y ella estaba allá y dio vuelta.
Ajá.
Y allí me aventó con la frente del carro. Entonces yo iba a mi derecha, que ya estaba la luz así como está ahí. Ok, acá no había carro, yo me aventé por favor. Entonces yo pasé y ella le dio. Ella no se
¿Pero
dejó.
en qué dirección estabas manejando usted? ¿En qué dirección estaba manejando? ¿Estaba yendo para allá, para allá, para allá?
Yo iba allá.
¿Tú ibas para allá? Ok, she said she was driving north. Ok, ¿y qué fue lo que pasó? ¿La luz estaba roja o verde?
No, estaba en verde. El roja estaba aquella.
Ok, usted se fue para adelante.
Yo iba a la verde, pero había un parqueado, porque estaba dando la luz.
Ok.
Entonces yo iba, pues me fijé. Yo me dijo a un lado a otro, que yo veo que un carro viene lejos.
Ok.
Pues yo paso.
Okay.
Entonces ella estaba allá y le dio vuelta y pues me aventó.
Entonces, ella estaba yendo para abajo.
Ella estaba también para voltear, yo creo.
¿Hizo un U-turn? Ella estaba haciendo una izquierda.
Ella venía.
Ah, ok.
Entonces yo iba, ya había brincado allí, casi la rayita, cuando ella pasó.
Ella pasó y le dio, ¿en qué parte del carro le dio?
Sí, me aventó.
¿En qué parte del carro le dio? En la esquina.
No ve en la esquina aquella del lado.
Entonces tú estabas yendo norte y ella estaba haciendo una izquierda.
Ajá. Y y
Ok.
ella me aventó. Cuando
¿Y
él le dio,
en dónde pasó el choque? ¿Allá o aquí? ¿En dónde pasó?
allí, mire, allí.
Aquí.
Allí, mire.
Ahí pasó el choque.
Sí, allí en la raya amarilla.
Okay.
Porque estaba la luz aquí.
So she said she was going northbound, had the green light, and she says that you were making a left-hand turn. That's what she says.
Yeah, I had the green light.
Right. That's what she says.
Yo vine bien la luz para brincar yo.
That light was green, which is the light that I had.
Right. So she's going northbound, you're trying to make a left-hand turn.
Yep.
La de la culpa fue ella que me aventó porque ella vio que iba, entonces ella le dio.
Pero usted estaba aquí parqueado.
Yo aquí estaba, mire.
Y cuando la luz estaba verde,
Aquí estaba.
siguió para adelante.
Cuando la luz verde, yo me fui, yo estaba allí para brincar. Entonces se puso
¿Cómo que estaba aquí, señora?
Yo ya iba a brincar para allá cuando la luz se puso verde.
¿Pero tú estabas parqueada aquí?
Sí, yo estaba parqueada.
Or she came from here, she says.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take a look where that's at.
Pero usted no estaba manejando.
Yo venía de acá.
Oh, okay.
Entonces,
Okay.
la luz se puso en verde y cuando
She's a pedestrian. You're supposed to wait till she's fully
Okay, so it's not a crash, vehicle?
No. She was walking.
Okay, got it. Okay, I understand. I understand now.
yo estaba bien.
I have to ask the questions. You don't have to be upset. I have to ask the tough questions. Listen, if I have to ask the questions, that's my job.
Fine.
They're medical. They're gonna ask, "Are you okay?" They're gonna check her head out, check her, take her to the hospital.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's
police.
fine.
I have to ask these questions.
That's fine.
I'm not trying to come off rude, but I have to kind of yell because you said she's hard of hearing. Entonces usted estaba aquí
Sí, yo ya estaba
tratando de
aquí,
ir para allá. Entiendo. Okay.
¿Aló? Sí, aquí estamos en la
Entonces-
15 al lado de su casa en la luz.
Entonces, ¿en qué parte, señora, en qué parte le dio usted? Aquí,
Me dio aquí,
le dio en este lado.
me dio aquí, mire.
¿Usted se cayó para el piso?
Y yo caí aquí.
Okay.
Y aquí,
Okay.
mire,
Entiendo. Yes.
y aquí.
When I hit her, she wasn't in the crosswalk.
Yeah, she says here.
I know. Because I hit her here and her suitcase was there.
Yeah. So you're making a
I'm making
left-hand
a
turn.
left. I have a green light. Okay? Then you have a steady red.
Right.
When I went to turn after the car passed by, I turned, I made the left. A, she's not in the crosswalk, and B, she hasn't stopped.
Right. Like right now, it stopped.
It has been. When I
Yeah.
turned it, because I looked to make sure there was nothing
Yeah.
there. But you're not even in the crosswalk.
I thought it was vehicle against vehicle.
No.
That's why I was like looking around, like what? Where? She said she came from here. I'm like, you were parked here? I don't get it.
No, I clipped her suitcase, and that's what caused her to fall down.
Oh, her suitcase was here.
She was dragging her suitcase, and I clipped her suitcase.
Makes sense. All right, I get what happened.
Pissed, bro.
I know. She's trying to travel over here on foot. You're making a left-hand turn.
Yes, not even in a crosswalk.
You
bro.
clipped her suitcase and she fell down. That's how her injuries occurred.
Correct.
Got it.
Officer Stevenson claims that she was making a left turn on a green light after waiting for another vehicle to pass, and she repeatedly frames the impact as her patrol car clipping Ms. Tellis's suitcase rather than striking Ms. Tellis directly. Ms. Tellis's account is relayed through a language barrier and comes across as at least somewhat confused. But the conversation and the way the scene is being discussed suggests there is a genuine uncertainty about whether she was fully within the crosswalk at the moment of the collision. Under Florida Statute 316.075, a green light is not a blanket permission slip for turning traffic, and the statute specifically states that vehicles, including vehicles turning left, must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians lawfully within the intersection or an adjacent crosswalk. If Ms. Tellis was in the marked crosswalk when Officer Stevenson began and executed the left turn, then whether or not the officer had a green light would be irrelevant under the statute. However, if Ms. Tellis was outside the marked crosswalk when she crossed, Florida law shifts some of the liability back to the pedestrian under Florida Statute 316.130, which requires pedestrians crossing at a point other than within a marked crosswalk to yield the right-of-way to vehicles on the roadway. That said, the very same statute also imposes an overarching duty on drivers to exercise due care to avoid colliding with any pedestrian, particularly at intersections and crosswalks. Whether or not Ms. Tellis was in the crosswalk at the time of the incident is a crucial factor in determining determining the liability of the parties involved. And Florida's civil liability framework hinges on which party was more at fault for any given accident. Florida Statute 768.81 states that in a negligence case, a party found to be more than 50% at fault for their own harm is barred from recovering damages, and lesser fault reduces the compensatory recovery in proportion to the assigned fault. Therefore, if Ms. Tellis was in fact inside the markings of the crosswalk at the time of being hit, then there is a strong probability that a court would not find her at fault at all. However, if she was outside the markings of the crosswalk, then she would likely be found at fault to some degree. But the civil liability associated with that scenario would still need to be weighed against other legal standards and decided by a court.
Well, Sarge wants me to follow to the hospital. So
I'm going to go relay that information of what she told you that some aid wasn't in the crosswalk?
Yeah, let me get my phone. Be right back. She clipped her her luggage apparently, and that's how she fell down. Huh? Okay, well, I'm just relaying what Stevenson wants me to relay, what I talked to her about in Spanish. If that's okay, you know, if not, then I'll just wait for Perez to get here.
Yeah, wait for Perez.
Okay. All right, cool.
I appreciate it.
No problem. I tried to relay the information, but she wants, I guess, the traffic unit to kind of do her thing. But I just try to, since I speak Spanish, I try to relay what I gathered from what happened. But she's busy doing her phone calls and stuff like that. So maybe sometimes things happen for a reason. You know what I mean? That should include it.
Get a grant back and start citing these people for improper.
They're gonna fly her to Jackson South.
Why?
Because she fits the criteria according to fire.
What's the criteria? Is that?
I guess because of head injuries. I guess.
She was gonna take you back to the station.
My car? Why?
Yeah, you should right.
There's no... Dude. There's a car at the station for me?
I don't know.
And when is this new policy? Huh? When do they start towing our cars for accidents like this? By AI supervisor? Israel, when do you guys start towing our cars?
That's a car sold, John.
The supervisor does?
I don't know what it tells you.
I just want to know when the policies have changed.
It's his investigation. That has nothing to do with it.
No, I understand that. I just want to know when the policy has been changed.
I'm not aware of any policy.
You're not, right? Perfect. Neither am I.
Officer Stevenson asks Sergeant Gilpin whether there was a recent policy change that prompted her patrol car being towed, and the sergeant states that she is not in control of the decision to tow the vehicle, and that she is not aware of any recent policy changes. While it is true that the Homestead Police Department's policy regarding city vehicle crashes does not mandate that a vehicle involved in an accident be towed, Florida law treats a crash involving an injury as a reportable event that requires formal investigation and documentation. Under Florida Statute 316.066, when a law enforcement officer investigates a crash that resulted in death, injury, or qualifying complaints of pain, the officer must complete and submit a written crash report using the Florida Traffic Crash Report form. And Florida Statute 316.065 also extends that requirement to notifying law enforcement of the crash. In other words, a vehicle-pedestrian crash that is followed by a medical evaluation and transport to a hospital generally triggers an investigative and reporting process that is designed to be structured, documented, and reviewable. What happens to the vehicles involved in the accident is decided within that same lawful framework. Under Florida Statute 323.001, an investigating agency may place an investigative hold on a motor vehicle and extend the hold in writing when continued custody is needed for investigative purposes while the vehicle is stored with a wrecker operator. Now, although this statute does not mandate towing in every crash, it recognizes that continued custody and controlled storage of a vehicle can be appropriate when evidence preservation is required. In an incident involving a city vehicle and potential bodily injury, a decision to secure the involved vehicle for documentation, inspection, and risk management review is consistent with the broader objective of preserving evidence and maintaining the integrity of the investigation. Contrary to Officer Stevenson's understanding at the time, the decision of whether or not the vehicle would be towed was not a matter of department policy. It was the investigative process required by sections 316.065 and 316.066 that authorizes officers from the Traffic Investigations Unit to take possession of the vehicle for investigative evaluation. Furthermore, it was not within the purview of Sergeant Gilpin's authority to dictate what happened to the vehicle, as the Homestead Police Department's Traffic Investigations Unit had taken over the scene for their investigation.
So do you have a car for me at the station?
I don't know. I'm here, so I don't know what's happening to the station.
So if I go back on every 17, every officer's car's been towed? It's a question. That's it. Sir. I'm gonna find out now. Hey, good afternoon, sir. Hey, quick question. Has a policy been changed about our vehicles being towed after a 17? Okay, because they've never towed our cars involving 17 ever. And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it, but the AIU supervisor is wanting my car towed. Absolutely. It's got a minor scratch from the actually it's not even a scratch, it's black transfer from the suitcase, because I never hit her, I only hit the suitcase. I don't know either. That's why I'm calling to find out, because this is all new to me. The last couple of 17s that officers have been involved in, they haven't towed the car, so I'm just trying to figure it out. I want to know when the policy was changed. I mean, I know that whenever we did an airlift for any pedestrian that was hit, we would tow anybody else's car. But she wasn't airlifted due to her injury. She was airlifted due to an elevated heart rate in her age. If it's because of injuries and they're critical, we tow the car. But if it's due to precautionary, which this was, we do not tow the car. No, I have no problem with that, but I'm just curious of why all the fucking sudden it's a change. All right, thanks. Do you have the policy on CHIs? For THIs, AIUs, callouts? Do you have that policy?
I have the memo.
No, but like our SOPs. Reference towing cars.
You want internal?
I want to know where it states in there if this vehicle is operable, and the fact that
I don't think that's in there.
And the fact that she was only airlifted as precautionary.
This is how we handle traffic, like, for the public, not internally.
Right. But when has an officer's vehicle ever been towed prior to my incident? Unless if it's been demolished.
Look, the times when I've towed the car is because that car is not operable.
Correct. But this is fully functional and a minor rub.
But this is the first time I've had a vehicle versus a pet, or any type of trauma alert, even a vehicle versus a vehicle. So I've never had it. I'm not
I know, but
reference point here.
Okay, so the reference point is if any pedestrian was done, okay, even when it's a civilian, it doesn't matter. We hold the cars, okay, until we get a status on that person. If they're done as precautionary, we do not tow cars. That's always been the blanket policy. But now all of a sudden we're making the exception? No, bro, we're not playing this game.
That's an AIU call.
It is, but it's okay. It's also above him too.
Yeah, that's an AIU call. If they want to tow a car,
So nowhere in SOPs does it say that?
The SOP that's here for traffic crash investigation is how we deal with traffic crashes to the public, not internally how we should.
We don't have one internally.
I don't believe so, no. Like vehicle and towing, traffic crash investigation, that's how we deal with it with the public, not an internal thing.
If serious injuries or death, shall forward photograph, city manager, VI chain of track involving HPD vehicle, on-duty shift, fleet, 24 hours. So nowhere in there does it say about towing my car.
Doesn't say can either.
I just want to know where all the changes come in, where every other person's vehicle has never been towed except for mine. That's a hell of a question. And if I'm the exception, I want to know why.
Well, I mean, I don't know the last time we hit a pedestrian.
I can understand if we kill him. But
I don't even have a reference point for you. I can't tell you, hey, well, this guy hit this pedestrian and this is how we handled it, and therefore why are we doing it differently? I don't even have the last time we hit one.
I've handled city vehicles where we hit pedestrians, not just police vehicles.
Vehicles?
Doesn't matter, it's a city vehicle. You hold it the same standard. We didn't tow the fucking car. So if I have to go dig up all those case numbers, I sure as fuck will.
Working on an answer.
I'm gonna call PBA.
Still working on an answer.
Okay, but I'm still gonna call the PBA.
Let it go through the chain of command. You're entitled to do it.
I understand. I don't think you understand the shit that I've been through the past 2 years, okay? So, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
Yeah, nobody's doing anything right now. You're getting all...
I just want to know...
chain of command.
Agreed. I just want to know when all this changed. And nobody can seem to give me a fucking answer for this. What's good for one isn't good for another. That's where I have the problem.
You brought me the answer for something that I didn't...
I didn't say you. I didn't say you. I'm just saying, can you find out for me?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Thank you. Listen, it's nothing towards you.
I know.
I'm hot right now.
I know.
A, because she wasn't even fucking in the crosswalk. She's improperly crossing the road. I tag her fucking suitcase and now you throw my car because it's precautionary because of her age and her fucking heart rate. Not even the fucking injuries.
Calm down.
Dude.
Calm down.
Why are you taking my car?
Hold.
Why are they taking... How about... Why is he taking...
Chill. Calm down. Okay? Just calm down. Calm down.
I just want to know when I was engaged.
When the new one came in,
It wasn't his doing.
just calm down. Cause is your car here right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so just calm
But
down.
can I...
Calm down. You know me, okay? I won't talk to you when you're amped up.
I'm not amped up. I'm tired of you fucking
So
me, like...
calm down. All right? So calm down.
Just to let you know I moved the suitcase. The suitcase was over here.
Over where?
Over here.
Okay. Well, I'm not worried about that. Okay? Just calm down. All right? Calm down. Okay? When I'm done doing what I have to do, then I will talk to you about what's going to happen.
Perfect.
And you know that.
I know that.
The officers from the Homestead Traffic Unit continued their investigation, but the body camera footage abruptly ends before showing whether or not Officer Stevenson's patrol car was towed, and the department would not release the accident reports associated with this incident. On July 5th, 2025, just over 6 months after the incident involving Ms. Tellis, Officer Stevenson was promoted to sergeant and acknowledged for her quote-unquote standard for excellence in a Facebook post on the department's official page. About 1 month later, on August 13th, 2025, Ms. Tellis hired an attorney and filed a claim against the city for damages in excess of $50,000. As of the date of writing this episode, her claim is still pending. Overall, Officer Stevenson gets a C because although she remained within the bounds of her authority throughout the interaction, she demonstrated extremely poor professionalism, displayed a callous disregard for the well-being of Ms. Tellis, and for maintaining an antagonistic attitude toward her supervisor and co-workers. Officer Stevenson's initial response included the appropriate operational steps, such as ensuring that medical evaluation was requested and notifying her supervisor. Now, those actions reflect at least a basic level of procedural compliance, and she should be recognized for following the appropriate protocol. However, her conduct quickly became dominated by frustration over the administrative consequences for her patrol vehicle, rather than maintaining a calm, professional demeanor consistent consistent with an officer crash involving a civilian. A vehicle-pedestrian collision, followed by medical evaluation and transport, is an inherently serious event, regardless of whether the initial contact was with a person or property. Even under Officer Stevenson's preferred framing, the collision caused a fall and it triggered a significant medical response. A reasonable officer would treat that outcome as the central issue, maintain composure, and allow the traffic investigation process to proceed without interference. Instead, Officer Stevenson repeatedly treated the investigation-related custody of her vehicle as an unjustified personal hardship, and her tone conveyed irritation at the fact that the event was being handled with formal oversight. Officer Stevenson's interactions with her coworkers and supervisor further reflected a blatant lack of professionalism. The supervising sergeant's role was to manage the scene and communicate the decisions that were being made within the investigative chain. Officer Stevenson responded with escalating agitation, profanity, and confrontational persistence, despite being advised to de-escalate. Even if she believed that internal practices were being applied inconsistently, the appropriate professional response would be to comply with the investigative process and then address policy concerns through the chain of command afterward. The approach displayed here created unnecessary friction during a time when the department's priority should have been medical care, documentation, and investigative integrity. This interaction highlights how quickly professional credibility can be damaged when an officer treats routine accountability measures as personal persecution and allows administrative inconvenience to overshadow the seriousness of a civilian being injured in an officer-involved crash. Now, as for Ms. Tellis, we will not be issuing a grade to an individual who was the victim of an accident, does not speak English, and is a senior citizen. A grading determination requires a stable foundation of verified facts, and the information provided by the department does not establish that foundation. Ms. Tellis's statements are filtered through translation, the questioning is brief and fragmented, and the circumstances include an inherently stressful medical event. The resulting ambiguity is not a meaningful basis to evaluate whether she complied with the crosswalk rules in Florida Statute 316.130 or whether she bore any comparative liability under Florida Statute 768.81. In this context, assigning a grade would ultimately amount to speculation rather than analysis. Ms. Tellis's limited participation in the encounter did not show any misconduct requiring evaluation. She did not escalate the interaction, she did not interfere with the investigation, and she did not create a safety risk. Her inability to communicate in English placed her at a disadvantage in providing a clear, consistent narrative, and the video does not show any intentional deception or obstruction. Although making statements to members of law enforcement is almost never in a citizen's best interest, Ms. Tellis appeared to be cooperating with a process that she did not understand, while also contending with the inherent disadvantages mentioned before. That said, I commend Ms. Tellis for taking the appropriate steps to seek accountability post-accident. This interaction highlights how easily a language barrier can turn a straightforward factual question into a contested narrative, and why accurate translation and thorough documentation are essential to any fair outcome. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out Audit the Court if you're interested in learning about the legal nuance beyond the body cam.